Welcome back to Fan Nation.
Well, Fan Nation, we have fellow New Yorker. What up?
That's right.
What's his name, Adrian?
His name is Matt Biamonte, and I would need for you to know that because he is a fellow New Yorker. Give this man some respect,
I
Anna.
know his name.
Matt, welcome to Fan Nation,
Thank
buddy. How
you.
you doing,
Appreciate
man?
you guys
Thank you
having me.
for
Thank
being
you.
with us, Matt. So, boxing, you train some of the best athletes
In the world.
and actors in the world. Tell us a little bit about that.
Lucky enough to have a mentor by a great trainer by the name of Angelo Dundee, who
Yes.
trained Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Leonard, George Foreman, 15 world champions, and just got lucky enough to work with Matt Damon on the Jason Bourne project. Got
So
to
you
work with
created
LeBron James. I wouldn't say I
Jason
could.
Bourne.
I wouldn't say that. I'm not gonna. I don't want to have any fight choreographers come to kick my ass in the middle of the night. Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome. And you also train with LeBron, huh?
Yeah, trained LeBron, D-Wade, Bosch.
Mm-hmm.
I got hooked up with the guys at that time from Nike, a guy named Paul Rivera,
Yeah.
Gotcha.
and all those guys. So, yeah.
Now, which athlete caught on to boxing the easiest? Like, who was just naturally good at it per se? Who just picked it up just easily, naturally?
I would say Ben Jarvis Green Ellis from.
Oh, really? From
Nice.
Louis?
Yeah,
He was
yeah,
my
yeah.
first guy that I trained, and I would say the one that I think that would have turned pro should have been Charles Clay, the tight end for the
Gotcha.
for the
Yeah,
Buffalo
yeah,
Bills.
Yeah, yeah,
Bill, yeah.
the
That
Bills.
guy is like
Pro.
a couple of the football players I would get in and spar with,
Uh-huh.
but I'm not getting in the ring with Charles Clay. I'm not getting in the ring. No, he outweighs me by about 30 or 40 pounds.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
And he hits like a mule.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how does for the uninformed, how does boxing translate onto into the field of play for like these athletes? You would say.
For the football players,
Mm-hmm.
it's mostly hand movement, hand-eye coordination, and footwork, and they love it because it builds up their cardio. Like I had a lot of the guys that would come and say, hey, I do my football training, we don't even break a sweat in camp.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they're just in that great a shape. And if you think about like a running back or a receiver, if they do a stiff arm, you got the linemen that are constantly punching each other on
Yeah.
the line. So it comes in hand.
Now, where did the love of boxing start for you?
Yeah.
What spurred that for you? What did it?
5 years old, I was literally underneath a stool that my great Aunt Sadie had, and I put my hands up and I put my hands around the stool, and she's like, "You have hands like Jack Dempsey."
Oh,
And I was like,
wow.
"Who's Jack Dempsey?"
Yeah.
And then my dad got me into it. My first fight poster was Roberto Duran against Sugar Ray Leonard.
Oh man.
Nice.
So, and then since then on, it was just, that was it. I was hooked.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
what do you think? Boxing, the state of boxing today. What do you think of the state of boxing today? Because it's kind of like a touchy subject with a lot of people.
It's not a touchy subject with me. I
Good.
tell the truth. It's an absolute disaster. It's been a disaster. I'm not into the UFC, to be honest, but
Got it.
you got to have respect for it.
Right.
It's just not my cup of tea. It's like if somebody says, hey, you want to play tennis? I'm going to say no. But the organization that UFC has, Dana White, and now actually Matt's agent, Patrick Witzel, just bought
Yeah.
the UFC. And the vision that they have is that somebody needs to have that vision for boxing. There's too many belts. There's too many organizations. You either fight this guy or you're fired and you don't fight. UFC, I think they're building the fan bases
Yeah.
because the two toughest people are fighting. If you don't like it, you're fired.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also, too, is I think with boxing, too, with all the stuff that's going on with the NFL, with the head injuries, I don't think that people really want to do too much of boxing anymore
Yeah.
because you see what happened to Muhammad. There's a number of other fighters that can't even tie their shoelaces. They can't say their own name. So I
Right.
think it's that whole thing, and people are starting to play more of football, basketball, baseball. And believe it or not, there's less damage being done in the UFC than there is for boxing because there's so many other different avenues.
Right,
You could choke them out, kick
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, submission.
Yeah,
and stuff like
submission.
that.
And once you get hurt, they stop the fight.
Yeah.
Boxing, you're getting a standing 8 count.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about the Arturo Gatti, Mickey Ward fight, if one of that fight would have never lasted in the UFC. They would have,
Yeah.
as soon as Gatti got hurt or Ward got hurt, they would have stopped the fight.
Yeah.
And I was actually listening to the radio the other day, and they said that in boxing, if you throw in the towel, it's like your career is in jeopardy. Like you can't just give up.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it's the whole thing with boxing now is they want everybody that's undefeated, but all the best fighters weren't undefeated.
Okay.
So, I appreciate what Mayweather does, but I think he ducks fighters, and I think that.
Ooh.
Thank you.
Taking
Yeah.
shots.
Thank you.
Man, I love it.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Love it.
He doesn't fight, people in their prime. He waits till it's over. And if you look at
truth.
the fighters that we were talking about, like in the 80s and 90s, like a Roberto Duran or Roy Jones Jr.,
Yep.
those guys fought everybody, and they fought more than once or twice a
Yeah.
year. The fighters now fight once or twice a year, and it's just that's what's also killing the sport.
Yeah.
Is the best isn't fighting the best, and you're only fighting twice a year. Is where you had I think it was ABC had fights every Saturday. You got to see these fighters grow
Yeah,
up as
Friday
kids.
night fights and stuff
Yeah,
like
Friday night fights,
So,
Tuesday night
on the
fights.
subject of fighting, I think it's only right. We're in your world. This is your world that you give us some pointers and you teach us kind of how to box because I think
Yeah.
Anna and I are going one-on-one.
I just want to smack him in the mouth.
at some point. Smack in boxing.
Guys, when we come back, Fan Nation, Matt is gonna teach me and Adrian the basics of fighting so I can kick his butt.
Anna don't want none of this. Hey, coming up next, I put these on Anna. That sounded inappropriate, but you know what I mean.